we are, game number 3, potentially the last day of the round of 16, day number 2 for the TSL number 3, sponsored by PokerStrategy.com. Here we have Manor, as always, the European, offering good game, good luck, good have fun, and NaDa responding, good luck, have fun. We are here on Shakur's Plateau, spawning cross positions as expected with the // positions. NaDa as the red Terran in the bottom left, and Empire.Kas as the blue Terran in the top right.
Yeah, I mean, NaDa is saying good luck, have fun, but there is one player in the series who is not having fun. That is going to be NaDa, as he is currently down 0-2, which I don't think a lot of people expected. I mean, we did mention a couple of times in the other videos that, yeah, NaDa has gone to school, and he's kind of focusing on that, which does take away from your StarCraft 2 time. But still, I mean, he's not a man. He has played probably 100,000, if not more games. He's been around forever and has been known for just playing tons and tons of games. And so if there's anyone who can come back and just hunker down and has played from behind like this before, it is going to be NaDa. He is super experienced. But for now, Empire.Kas up 2-0. My mind is blown, but I'm still hoping, fingers crossed, that we at least get to a 4th game, just because I'm a little bit greedy, and so far the games today have been phenomenal.
Yeah, before we start looking for excuses for oGs.NaDa, I just want to say he's playing well. You know, when we look back at the games, it's not like, what the hell's NaDa doing and we need to start looking for excuses. He's playing well. The thing is, Kaz is just playing that much better. So it's been a really interesting series for me to watch, especially the TSL has always been a tournament where a few unknown players make their mark, leave their legacy. As if you watch the history video of TSL 1 and 2, you've seen Cloud, Artosis actually made a name for himself in TSL. Braddock made a big name for himself in TSL number 1. JF especially in TSL 1 and 2. So a lot of unknown, or air quotes, unknown to the masses players have made a large name for themselves via the TSL. And I want to send one more name out there, not for playing, but for doing all those fantastic portraits. Once again, I want to plug Glider and his website, theportraitart.com. He's done all those pencil sketches of the players that you see in the intros and all around the website, so very nice to have him on board with this TSL.
Yeah, essentially drawing every single player, which is awesome. Much better than the stick figures I would have drawn. Now, NaDa did scout into the bottom right side, which unfortunately for him means... Oh, is his SCV going to make it? No, unfortunately for him, that SCV is going to go down right there. But we do have... It looks like Kaz going to be going for that Reaper once again. Wants to just use that for that scouting. It helps you see the expansion timing and just exactly what your opponent's doing. Plus, you can grab the always vital Xel'Naga towers in the center of the map. And it's something that a lot of players have begun doing here with the Reaper. And we saw him micro it very early in the stages of the last game, taking out those first 3 Marines, which to me was just basically the tempo of the game started right there. And it does look like Empire.Kas is going to be throwing down his expansion at his natural, which we've seen him do before, while the command center for NaDa up in his main.
Right, Kaz playing a little bit more risky. I mean, it's not that risky, but of course it's more risky than placing the command center in your main base. NaDa playing safe as ever, and he may want to start considering, when he's down 0-2, taking a little more risks, as we're getting into game number 3 here. The Reaper for Kaz is going to scout the top left, which of course not possible, so both players making a bit of a mistake there. They've laddered so many games that they're just used to playing standard Metalopolis. So the Reaper now going to go down and see what's going on in NaDa's base. He may be able to jump right up here onto this cliff and spot the command center.
Yeah, he could also delay that if he jumps up there right now in time. There is 4 Marines here to stop this. Will Kaz go straight for that SCV? Wow. He does target it, and this is delaying the command center. Every second that is trickling away is the expansion timing being further and further ahead for Kaz. You can see his command center just about being wrapped up here. It's so frustrating. I mean, of course you're losing an SCV, but delaying that command center is so frustrating, especially considering that his command center is already delayed because it's inside of his main base. So Kaz, I feel like he just always sets the pace of the game, doesn't get greedy with this Reaper, right, backs out, and just happily takes both these watchtowers. So again, he has that map vision, has that map control, so if anything's moving out in the next couple of minutes, it's not going to surprise him whatsoever.
Yeah, Kaz continuing his build with those 2 barracks, continuing with a factory. Starport coming now, he's adding the tech lab onto the factory. I'm going to be interested to see, does he swap that tech lab with the starport, which is nestled right against it. Money skin from NaDa dropped right on top of all of those buildings, so we'll be well aware of what's going on and should be able to infer from the lack of buildings and the lack of units that an expansion is up. Going ahead and looking at NaDa's vision, he's not aware, but I think he can make that inference. NaDa now has landed his own command center at the natural and morphing that into an orbital command.
Yeah, the orbital command for NaDa is, of course, delayed because he decided to fly it over there. And to make matters worse for him, he is currently down by 7 SCVs. So not only is he behind in the Mule energy, he's also behind in the SCV count. Does look like Kaz is a tiny bit supply block there just for a second, but he did have his supply depot on the way, which means he has a siege tank now, as well as opting to go for a Viking. This will be good against any sort of Banshee play that NaDa could do. It doesn't look like NaDa is going to do that, though, as he is just sitting on that 3 racks, doesn't have even a factory on the way quite yet. And if he does decide to continue just powering Marine and Marauder, which he has more Marauders than we've seen probably in all the other games combined, is that if he can catch Kaz out of position with those Marine Marauder, he can steamroll him. But the problem is that if Kaz is in a defensive position, he should be just fine.
We had a little bit of cat and mouse going on at the 6 o'clock oGs.NaDa tower, or tavern, if you will. We can see a lot of damage done on those Marines as the Reaper popped in and out onto that cliff and now going to be brought back to the northern tower. We've got the... Oh, okay, so he's actually going to leave the tech lab on the factory because it's going to be getting siege mode. NaDa breaking down the southern rock, so we may want to push kind of sneakily through here, but unfortunately Kaz is sending a few units here. He's going to be able to take out these Marines, and he's going to be able to see that this is coming. NaDa trying to press forward. Kaz needs to retreat fully, as NaDa has the benefit of having 3 barracks to Kaz's only 2, but Kaz does have the benefit of a defensive posture. He's putting up the siege tanks into siege mode, which has completed. He's got the engineering bay, no research on the way there, but he should be able to hold this. However, this is a reversal of the other 2 games we've seen. NaDa now has map control, and let's see if he attacks. No, he's not going to attack. I'm really interested to see if he slams out an expansion right away.
Yeah, that was huge what Kaz just did there. He moved out and grabbed the tower just to reveal. I mean, he saw exactly what his opponent had because he grabbed that tower and he saw those Marauders, which tells you volumes about what your opponent is doing. And then he wisely backed out there because he knows that if he just sits back, he has a tech advantage. He can just power out these siege tanks. And then he killed those 3 Marines on that tower, which is always a big deal, especially when your whole army is just Marines and a Marauder. So again, Kaz continuing to keep the tempo of this game going. He got in that defensive posture. His expansion is earlier. His tech is further ahead. And now looking at the SCV count, he is now 11 SCVs ahead of his opponent right now. So NaDa is in a lot of trouble. He said he probably should be throwing down an expansion. I want to say you're right, because look at the natural of NaDa. That is nowhere near fully saturated at all.
Yeah, he is not a greedy boy, let me tell you. And while that may be good in real life, that doesn't work out too well in StarCraft. You want to be greedy as hell, grabbing these minerals before your opponent gets their hands on them. We can see Kaz moving out with a medevac. He may fly directly over the Marine of NaDa. That is a nice Marine. Going to spot that drop coming, putting up NaDa's vision. Let's see where he's looking. He has not focused on that. He's not looking at his main base, so maybe he's not completely aware that this has happened, recalling his army back. So the drop probably not going to happen in the main base. Kaz now flying over another Marine. He may get picked off here by the Marines coming back by NaDa. Stimming. No, he actually gets out. That's surprising.
Very, very surprising he was able to survive that. That was a dicey moment for him. But just look at the supply counts. It is 92 to 117. I mean, a lot of that is going to be the worker advantage. Now, 13 workers ahead. I'm not quite sure why NaDa is falling more and more behind here in the worker count, as the command center counts are going to be equal. But, I mean, to be this far ahead without really having a very decisive victory battle or anything like that, I mean, it just shows that Kaz's play is much more clean, I think, than NaDa's right now. NaDa is in a position at this watchtower. He could stim and run into this. No, realizes he needs to back out, is going to sacrifice yet another Marine. These things are slowly adding up, and the siege tank's chasing down the Marauders, and I just feel like NaDa is in a really bad position here. He does try and get the nice concave here in the siege tank, so there are 3 in the back. He did split up his army. NaDa did very well, and unfortunately, though, just 2 many siege tanks, and they got blasted away.
Yeah, this is an insanely good position for Kaz. Looks like there was a drop in the main base of Kaz. We've only got 2 Marines there as they get cleaned up. No medevac to speak of, so possible that it flew into this turret. No, the turret has 0 kills. So I'm not sure what happened there. Unfortunately, I missed that. But Kaz won the big battle. Now continuing to press forward. NaDa trying to stim and siege on the high ground, but Kaz's siege also completes. All the infantry units for Kaz dead, but all the units for NaDa dead. Kaz winning that. He can unsiege and get into the medevacs, but looks like he doesn't even want to do that. He's choosing to play safe, taking the 3rd base, and of course, he has map control, so he turns this into an orbital, not into a planetary, just compounding his advantage. Supplies 121 for Empire.Kas, 69 for NaDa.
Yeah, and looking at the production tab, there was, 6 Marines on the way at the same time. We have an Armory on the way as well. Don't know that we'll see Thors, probably just for that siege tank upgrades. And now Empire.Kas does have a medevac outside the base of NaDa. He can use this to kind of elevator units on top of these siege tanks in the base, should he decide to. You can see him utilizing that right now, is trying to be careful with this medevac, and he's not quite sure what he wants to do with that. But those Marines, if you're wondering why they're not running over there to kill that medevac, well, they will die instantly should that happen. And so Empire.Kas really using his positional advantage here and his army size advantage to try and seal the deal. NaDa is against the ropes. If he loses these two tanks that he has right here, he very well could lose this game.
Wow, one tank going down, the second one under siege. NaDa not reacting now, getting his courage together, stimming forward. One of the tanks already down. Oh my god, NaDa needs to break this. He's committed so many resources, so many units to breaking this. Siege tank getting targeted by Kas, and the Viking actually lands, and Kas cleans it up. Oh my god, he cleans it up. Viking getting taken out, but everything for NaDa getting taken out. NaDa committed so much. Look at his barracks. They're queued up like 7 deep in the majority of his barracks. Very strange. And look at the army rolling out for Kas. Oh my god, this is a massive army. A full page of Marines and 2 siege tanks reuniting back with the medevacs and the 2 tanks which have done their job. And I feel like he's just going to attack move his way into the round of 8 right now.
Yeah, looking at the units tab, 1 tank and 9 Marines are really going to have to pull it together here if they want to stop 46 Marines, even a Reaper in there, and 6 siege tanks of his own. You can see a scan going down for Kas in the main base of NaDa. May be able just to steamroll his way right up this ramp here. He is going to be sieging on the low ground, still playing very passive, very timid, wants to make sure not to sacrifice his entire army by running it through the meat grinder. There is only 1 siege tank remaining. NaDa is forced to pull off the SCVs, dropping Marines on top of the SCVs, but the siege tank is killing off all the SCVs as well, and it looks like Empire.Kas NaDa is going to GG out of this game. Once again, being completely decimated here. 3-0 by Empire.Kas. His TVT is amazing. We just witnessed it in this game and in this series. 3-0. I cannot believe we just went from a super long epic it went to game 5 series, and now we've just seen a very, very one-sided TVT, and fairly short considering that it is TVT. So I have got to hand it to Empire.Kas. He definitely deserves moving on to the round of 8 here, and just wow. I can't believe what we just saw.
Yeah, Kas's builds look very crisp, very well executed, very safe, while throwing in just a tiny bit of risk. I know that's kind of contradictory, but what I'm saying is it's safe against a majority of styles. If there's something tailored to a style, maybe it'll break him, but that's the way you have to play StarCraft. You have to get that fast expansion rolling, and that's exactly what Kas did, and then followed it up with genius tactics, and really incredible execution when he moved in, controlled the watchtower at the perfect time, got out of there, used that Reaper to dance back and forth. Just amazing play by Kas. And Husky, you know what this means, is that the round of 8 is going to be Empire.Kas against Millennium Adelscott. That's going to be sick! Oh my god.
And a lot of people that may just be tuning into the TSL may not realize how epic that'll be. They'll be like, I don't know who these 2 guys are. Why is that going to be such an epic match?
You should know!
Yeah, the reason it's going to be epic is because of the games they've shown us so far in this tournament. We've seen phenomenal, at least TVT from Empire.Kas in this last series, and we've seen ridiculous TVP, which honestly I think Adelscott is helping to change the TVP metagame, just maybe by himself, just with his crazy builds he goes. So you do not want to miss that TVP coming up. I think it should be one of the most hyped up matches going forward into the round of 8. A lot of those players may not be super famous before this, but they definitely should be after this, just showing us phenomenal games and showing really good games here today as well. And I do want to hand it to QXC, man. He was so close to advancing,
yes.
Going out in 3-2. So if you're going to lose, it might as well be in a 3-2 series like that. So that was a good series, and we did see his very hyper-aggressive style in that game. So really, the only biggest loser today was NaDa, but I mean, really, he is focusing on school, so maybe he's just like, whatever, I gotta go study or something.
You just made like 10,000 anti-fans there, Husky.
It's okay. I already have like 150 million, so
Yeah, what's drop in the bucket, I guess. But I want to go ahead and just remind everyone, I know I've been on this all day, but next week is going to be sick. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be there to commentate. I'm going to be in Montreal. But we're going to have Sen versus Boxer on Saturday, followed by Hasuabs versus Moro. So if you're a Zerg fan, there's going to be 2 Zergs on that day. That's going to be cast by DJ Wheat and Day 9. And then on Sunday, we're going to say hello to Husky yet again, as we're going to have Naniwa, who ran through, I guess, the Endurance Meat Grinder at MLG and came out victorious, taking on the Panzer General himself, Goody. Goody took out Nesty in an amazing display of mech play, Terran versus Zerg. So now we're going to see what can he do, Terran versus Protoss. And finally, the match with a lot left to prove that's on everyone's mind is going to be coming last. And that is Mondragon versus Cruncher. Mondragon showed a very strong style, Zerg versus Protoss, in his last match against, I believe it was against Zerax. But there's a lot for the critics, or a lot of criticism left on his play, saying Zerax didn't live up to what people expected in Protoss versus Zerg. Does Mondragon's ZVP have the strength to go the distance? Cruncher, of course, took out Idra, probably the foreigner favorite in this tournament. Can he do it again? PVZ against Mondragon. You will not want to miss those matches next week.
Yeah, definitely, especially Cruncher with his up-and-coming style of play there. What we will see, because he is one of those players who still has a lot left to prove, but has proven a lot already. Mondragon been, in the StarCraft scene for an extremely long time, so that is going to be quite the match to look forward to. You do mention, it is very important to mention that he did take out Idra, so if he can take out Idra, then maybe he'll have a good shot against Mondragon. I can't wait, so definitely make sure to tune in next week, guys. Lots of epic matches continuing there. I still feel like most of these matches could easily be the finals of this tournament, so make sure to stay tuned. Thanks for everyone for watching. Hopefully you guys crash TL with all your crazy amounts of traffic, because they definitely deserve all the attention. So that's all I've got, Chill. I need to go lay down or something, because these games every time are surprising to me how epic they are, and the results are astounding to me as well. So we could not ask for a better tournament. That's all I've got, Chill. So go ahead and sign us out. But thanks for listening, guys.
All right, thank you for all the viewers for tuning in. Again, thank you to Hotbit and Rich for running the stream. I believe Nazgul is visiting them, helping out in the TLHQ in New York City. So thanks a lot to those guys. They really put on the production that lets us watch these epic matches. We're halfway through the round of 16 for TSL number 3. You'll not want to miss the second half as we answer who's going to be on the right side of the brackets and continue towards that massive prize in the finals of TSL number 3. I'm Chill. I was joined today by Husky. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next time.